You know who I did a book report on?
Nope.
In elementary school?
Nope.
It's pretty funny in hindsight. Bill Cosby.
Oh God.
Yeah.
If only. What if you figured it out? You were like some sleuth kid.
In elementary school, I was like, yo, this guy's definitely a rapist.
You wrote this scathing book report. You were like, the character of this famous fatherhood figure is questionable.
I know this is Black History Month, and I know I'm the only white dude in this elementary school, right? But you guys have to listen to me here. Bill Cosby is total asshole.
We in.
What up, dog?
Look at me when you speak to me. I
feel
feel disrespected.
I'll fucking look at my notes if I want. I'll look at my notes entire time.
I'll look at my notes all day. What's going on, guys?
I wish there was a mirror on my notes so I could just look at myself.
Welcome to the Chris and Kyle Show. Spoiler episode for a hastily put together and decided upon Velvet Buzzsaw. I don't even think we just forgot to say what we were doing last episode, and then we were like, we got to figure out an episode.
Twas quite hasty.
Because we were like, well, we need to do True Detective Season 3, but we didn't have time to watch it all. So that'll be later in the month.
Yeah, if we have time then. We'll see.
True. That's true. We got to start now. We got to start watching it this week so that in 2 or 3 weeks we're ready to go.
Word.
Anyway, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about Velvet Buzzsaw, or as we so lovingly referred to it multiple times throughout the casting of this podcast, Velvet Buzzsaw. Velvet Buzzsaw is written and directed by Dan Gilroy, who you may know from making Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal, which this movie also stars Jake Gyllenhaal as the most weirdly named character, Morph Vandewalt. Just had to throw that out there. It's a whack name. Jake Gyllenhaal, Renee Russo, Zawe Ashton. She's the lead, kind of. Her and Jake Gyllenhaal. Tom Sturridge, Toni Collette, Natalia Dyer, Daveed Diggs, John Malkovich, Billy Magnuson. That's pretty much all the random-ass characters that we meet throughout this movie. The reception of this movie, I will say, is very mixed. So I'm interested in hearing what your opinions are.
Okay. I think that this is... I'll start off in a really weird place, okay? Have I ever talked about Brian Helgeland on this podcast?
I don't think so.
No. You've
talked to me about Brian Helgeland.
Right.
But I don't know if you've done it on the podcast.
But for those that may not know, Brian Helgeland is the writer-director of A Knight's Tale. He also wrote and directed 42, I believe is...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I liked 42.
The Jackie Robinson movie. I didn't like 42 as much as you did. I thought it was kind of bad.
I couldn't tell you a single thing about it right now, except that Chadwick Boseman, I think, played Jackie Robinson, right? Mm-hmm. And Harrison Ford is in it.
Yeah.
But that's all I remember. But I know that when I was in the movie theater, I was Jackie Robinson. You know why, though? When I was in middle school, I did a book report on Jackie Robinson. First book report I ever wrote.
Really?
Yep. It was on his autobiography or biography. I don't know if he actually wrote it. I don't remember. But... yeah, when I was in middle school, it was they were pick a famous person from history and do a book report. And I was like, I don't like baseball or anything. I'm just gonna do Jackie Robinson.
You know who I did a book report on?
Nope.
In elementary school?
Nope.
It's pretty funny in hindsight. Bill Cosby.
Oh God.
Yeah.
If only. What if you figured it out? You were some sleuth kid.
In elementary school, I was like, yo, this guy's definitely a rapist.
You wrote this scathing book report. You were the character of this famous fatherhood figure is questionable.
I know this is Black History Month, and I know I'm the only white dude in this elementary school, right? But you guys have to listen to me here. Bill Cosby is total asshole.
That'd be really funny. Anyway, what are you saying about Brian Helgeland?
Okay, I know this is super off topic, but I'm gonna bring it in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. Brian Helgeland is the only person to ever win an Oscar and a Razzie in the same year for writing. Yeah. It might be ever, but specifically for writing. So he won the Oscar for Best Screenplay for LA Confidential and got the Razzie for The Postman with Kevin Costner. But he is someone, I feel like that's a good way to understand Brian Helgeland.
You mean to understand Dan Gilroy?
In order to understand Dan Gilroy, I feel okay. So Brian Helgeland's very volatile. right? Like he's very he's kind of like the J.R. Smith of the filmmaking world. Right, like
he brings the pipe. He takes his shirt off everywhere he goes.
Very inconsistent.
He's always high.
Very inconsistent.
He doesn't know how much time's left on the game clock. I got you.
Very inconsistent. Yeah. Like the product that you're gonna get out of him, the quality of the product is gonna be very volatile.
Yeah.
Right. Dan Gilroy is that, but like,
dude, he's all. Oh my god.
But he's 15% better.
I'm looking at his credits here. So I'm going to run through them real quick. His screenplays. Free Jack, never heard of it. Chasers, don't know what it is. Two for the Money.
This is Brian Helgeland.
No. This is Dan Gilroy. Okay. The Fall. Real Steel starring Hugh Jackman.
Yep.
The Bourne Legacy, the Jeremy Renner one.
Yep.
Which I liked that movie, but maybe like if I revisited it, a lot of people don't really like it. I feel like I remember liking that movie.
Real Steel or?
No. Bourne Legacy.
Oh, okay.
Nightcrawler, which is amazing. Kong Skull Island, which I really enjoyed. Roman J. Israel Esquire, which came out like last year or 2 years ago with Denzel. And Velvet Buzzsaw. All over the place.
Yeah. All over the place. But I would say, okay, Dan Gilroy
Nightcrawler's his peak,
is Brian Helgeland, but 20% better.
20%?
Yeah, 20%.
You know what, though? I'll say this.
What's that?
Brian Helgeland's, I don't know if best work, but my favorite Brian Helgeland film, I like more than any Dan Gilroy film.
But so you're talking about A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, but we have a weird like love for A Knight's Tale, me and you.
Well, and I also think that the bad parts of A Knight's Tale also appeal to a certain demographic and like make it really fun.
The weird music,
A Knight's Tale, the best parts about it are like the story structure. It's like the most fucking like well-told hero's journey, like put into a medieval sports movie.
Yeah.
But like
and a love story.
The whack stuff is like
and a great comedy.
The anachronisms of it and whatever. We're not talking about it.
We'll do A Knight's Tale one.
Yeah. Day. Okay. Dan Gilroy specifically, right? I have gone. I'm pretty sure I've said it on this podcast about how much I like Nightcrawler, but how much I wish that Nightcrawler was directed by someone
David
different.
Fincher.
So David Fincher that year made Gone Girl instead of Nightcrawler, which
no wait, when you say instead of Nightcrawler, did he have the option to choose between them?
No.
Or you're just saying it in an alternate universe that you created.
Welcome to this podcast. It's just complete speculation.
Okay.
All right. No. I
don't know if you had some weird insider info.
In a fantasy world, if David Fincher made Nightcrawler, it would have been my favorite movie that year, and probably in the past couple years. But
he made Gone Girl, which you didn't really like,
Girl,
right?
Which there's obvious pros, but I felt like there was more cons. As far as cons, like just. The ending is whack to me. Like I just didn't buy it logically. It annoyed me. Like there was a lot of like, why the fuck is David Fincher making this?
Don't spoil Gone
the obvious pro. Emrata's boobs. That's and
Rosamund Pike is great in that movie.
Yeah, and Neil Patrick Harris too.
Yeah, he is good. Ben Affleck was good too.
He's fine.
Good performances.
We keep talking about other movies that are not Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all related.
Why is Velvet Buzzsaw so hard to say?
Because we made so many jokes about Buttsaw that it's stuck in our brain.
I think that there's something with the words too that like
Velvet
kind of
Buzzsaw. There's too many V's and Z's.
Velvet Buzzsaw.
They're unnatural letters. We don't use them very often.
And I also think that our mouths are lazy. And that we don't say buzz.
No, I have.
We say. But
I have impeccable diction. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. What was I talking about?
You were slowly getting to the comparison between Brian Helgeland.
Yeah, but I went past that.
We were talking about how Nightcrawler would have been your favorite movie of the year if it was David Fincher.
So,
are you getting at that Dan Gilroy is a better writer than director?
Yes.
Okay,
for sure. I would say that Dan Gilroy is a better writer and director, just like Brian Helgeland is. And also, I think that he's someone who's filled with a lot of good ideas, and then there's like some bad things that just kind of come along with his filmmaking.
Okay.
Some things that annoyed me with Nightcrawler, which is why I feel like someone like David Fincher would have been better for the project, at least in a theoretical place, because if David Fincher was attached, more than likely Jake Gyllenhaal wouldn't have been attached because they have like a Discord.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, dude. So apparently when they shot Zodiac, Jake Gyllenhaal, like David Fincher is someone who literally will go through the same scene 30 fucking times and is like he's insane about that.
Yeah.
He's a perfectionist. And Jake Gyllenhaal just fucking hated
Not about it.
So yeah.
I mean, I don't blame him.
Yeah, but
hey, man,
look at David Fincher's work.
Yeah, it's true. But look at Jake Gyllenhaal's work too. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
There's more than one way to skin a cat, but the problem with Jake Gyllenhaal's movies are never with him. You know, like you can still have an incredible performance on a kind of mediocre movie.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
But so Buzzsaw. What was I talking about? I was talking about
you are.
I'm off the rails.
Drink your damn coffee.
It's already drunk. I think I might.
Oh my god, that's the problem. You drink it too fast.
Yeah.
Crossed your brain wires.
Okay, so Dan Gilroy is somebody who's filled with a lot of good ideas, and sometimes bad ideas will get in there, right? So, and it's usually with the directing. I feel like,
okay,
like a lot of the music choices.
Yeah, there's weird music in this movie.
Well, and a lot of times it just comes off really
inconsistent, right? The music, the tonality of them. Like when it first started, you were like, "This reminds me of Donnie Darko," and then that never came back throughout the whole movie. And then there's like weird parts where there's music with singing, and it's like overpowering the dialogue in other scenes. It's very strange.
But yeah, and it's something that annoyed me with Nightcrawler as well was the music choices.
Okay.
There's a lot of like quirky like string plucks that you hear throughout the movie that I'm just like I don't want this, you know, like it's kind of like forcing me to be like, oh, this is kind of humorous, you know, and it
as if Jake Gyllenhaal isn't already giving you that because he is.
Yeah. So I thought that the best parts about Velvet Buzzsaw were all of the genre elements, all of the things that like the scary movie shit. You know what I mean?
The scares, the killing scenes.
Yeah,
they were very, very imaginative killing scenes.
Yeah, so creative.
Very imaginative.
I really enjoyed that. So like even if like
the paint was really cool when she got like murdered by paint, I guess. The Buzzsaw tattoo was really cool at the end.
It's kind of whack. Like there's like a little bit of whackness.
It's kind of cool though.
It's fun.
Like, yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, it's over. It's kind of over the top. All of it. Although I said it while we were watching it, I didn't like when like I felt like it was less scary because the dude's face kept popping up.
Yeah,
I was like, that's stupid. Why is it happening?
Yeah,
but
that didn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
The stuff that bothered me was like I didn't feel like the everything that was outside of all of that genre stuff, all of the killing, the like, oh, we
can I tell you my least favorite thing about this
foreshadowing movie? And all this stuff. My least favorite stuff is this pretentious.
The characters suck.
Yeah,
the characters in this movie suck.
But like they could still suck, and you could be interested in watching.
That was my one thing about this movie. There is a version of this movie that I really love.
Yeah.
But it's not this version.
The idea of Velvet Buzzsaw is so much better than what actually was the
and I don't know if it's a performance issue combined with a writing issue or direction. I don't know. I don't know how to put my finger on it exactly. I didn't like the girl that's kind of the lead. Jake Gyllenhaal's fine. He's doing his thing. Rene Russo's fine. Why is John Malkovich in the movie at all? There's literally no point.
There's a lot of like tangential shit.
Yeah, there's just shit that's just like,
I feel like this could be cut out.
Even though like Daveed Diggs has like kind of a role later on, he doesn't need to be in the movie. He's also the most likable character in the movie.
Right.
And that's mostly because it's just really funny when he's standing in the kitchen.
That kitchen scene is really good.
Yeah, like when Jake Gyllenhaal comes in angry and then he's just standing there like cooking. That's good.
That kitchen scene is like an example of the topness that they didn't like, all of the overtop shit that they had in all of the genre elements. They didn't really go for in everything that was outside of that. You know, like it was kind of
super reserved. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah,
like the first
it was kind of convoluted.
I want to say the first 10 to 15 minutes of that movie are literally let's introduce you to 9 named characters and give them each like a minute or two of contentious dialogue, but you don't have any clue who anyone is or what's going on.
I don't think that you've seen this movie, but it was like a really bad version of Nocturnal Animals.
Yeah, I never saw Nocturnal Animals, which was kind of also mixed in terms of its reception. Critically, people loved it.
I really liked it. I really like Nocturnal Animals, but it's a good example of like the best version of Velvet Buzzsaw probably wouldn't be Nocturnal Animals.
Tom Ford, right?
Yeah, Tom Ford directed it. But like Velvet Buzzsaw has like a seriousness to all of this, like this pretentious lifestyle.
Yeah, it's so pretentious.
The
but you
fucking
can make
LA
pretentious,
artists,
unlikable characters that you still want to watch.
or are funny and biting,
Yeah, exactly.
and
Like
satirical.
there was some of that to Jake Gyllenhaal. What was the line that you loved?
Okay, so the scene in the kitchen.
Yeah.
When Jake Gyllenhaal comes into the main character's apartment or whatever, right?
Josephina was her name.
Yeah, Josephina. He has a previous romantic relationship with Josephina, and they're basically on a break, and then he comes into her apartment and doesn't realize that another artist,
Daveed Diggs from Hamilton, is there.
Is there
Thomas
in the kitchen, like making breakfast or something with his shirt off.
Yeah.
But
he's just
Daveed
like,
Diggs is like a really like well respected artist amongst this community. Someone who Jake Gyllenhaal
he's blowing up.
Jake Gyllenhaal is an art critic, and he
really likes his work.
Really likes Daveed Diggs' work. And Jake Gyllenhaal sees him in the kitchen. Daveed Diggs just goes, "What's up?" What's up? And Jake Gyllenhaal,
he's like
freaking out.
Daveed Diggs is like, "Hey man, she said you guys were done. I'm sorry."
Jake Gyllenhaal,
he's just so
freaks
calm.
out, and he goes, "My appreciation for your work has evaporated."
It's so silly.
That fucking line was the best line in the movie.
It's good.
I loved it. And that was like a good example of like, okay, you have these really pretentious characters that are just like, oh, I don't, they're very, very hoity-toity. But like when they're put in an emotional situation and you see how they react to it, you get beautiful stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like a really fun juxtaposition of things, like when you see people who are super pretentious, but they're still falling back on like,
part of it
that's
is just
so petty.
Yeah. But it's also just like giving people real emotions. Like a lot of like, the lead girl has nothing of that sense throughout the whole movie. She's just kind of like, they try to in the very beginning make you sympathetic for her because she gets cheated on or something, and then very quickly, Rene Russo is like, "I'm not. You're always late, and your work," and you're like, "Oh, we feel bad for her," and then very quickly they're like, "Nah, fuck that. She's just a bitch."
Yeah, it's just there isn't much like emotional resonance to the movie at all.
There's that scene might be the only scene, like even. Like, I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal's death scene is supposed to be when the robot man is chasing him and he says something. It's just like,
my appreciation for your work has evaporated. I'm going to start saying that from now on. That's going to be one of my...
Hey, go for it.
Go for it. Like, next time Kanye puts out an album.
Okay. Yo, don't judge it before you listen. He can turn it around.
I'm just saying, hypothetically.
So, like, would you say that you liked this movie?
There was things that I liked.
There's things that
I thought that robot man was creepy. That scene where like he's in, like, I was like, there's a version of this that could have been so much better.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
I still found it creepy.
I kind of felt like that throughout the whole movie. It was like, there's a version of this scene that is really scary. There's a version of this scene that I really like. If I cared about any of these characters more, I'd be more invested in what's happening to them. Like when John Don Don got killed, I was like, I mean, this is kind of like neat in terms of what's happening, but I don't care.
Right.
I just don't care. Even when Jake Gyllenhaal got killed, I was like, this. I didn't really think it was that creepy. The robot guy. I thought it was pretty creepy. And it's also like from the very beginning, it was kind of like that robot's gonna, creepo murder someone at some point. You just know it's coming.
Right.
Toni Collette was a bitch in this movie. She had no likable factor.
But like it's not like,
and weird hair.
Like, I don't want to say that, just because they're bitchy that they couldn't have achieved really good characters.
No, yeah.
Because
bitchy should be part of your character, not the entirety of your character.
But like they could have done it in a way that was biting, like that could have been more interesting, and like could have drawn us into the characters more. Like if it were like a Mean Girls situation or fucking what's the one with Alicia Silverstone that was made in the Valley movie. Goddamn, Paul Rudd. Motherfucker. Outclassed. Fucking. What is it?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Outclassed, Bewitched.
I'm going through.
Beswitching.
He makes so many movies, dude, and TV shows.
You're looking through Paul Rudd's?
He's a prolific dude.
Ugh.
This is the end. All's bright, burning love, admission, Prince Avalanche. This is 40. Louis, the perks of being a wallflower, Wanderlust.
Way it's like way earlier. Fucking Lacey Silverstone,
God.
Paul Rudd, fucking
Over Her Dead Body. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Walk Hard, Knocked Up, Reno 911, Night at the Museum. He's in Night at the Museum.
Fuck did Paul Rudd
40-Year-Old
do in that
Virgin.
museum? Sorry guys for
I don't know why we're getting
conducting
stuck
our
on
research.
this. I don't know if you expected to bring this movie up.
No, I did not.
Yeah, so
Fuck, what is it called?
I don't know, dude. Alicia Silverstone, you said? Because I'm not
Clueless.
clueless. Oh, there you go.
Okay, Clueless.
We made it.
But like all of these characters are like super stupid hoity-toity bitches in the valley, you know. But like it's a good movie. Like it's a fun watch. Yeah, that was a whole lot of waiting for nothing. Clueless.
So you know that somebody was listening and they were like,
Clueless.
Clueless, you idiot.
It's called Clueless.
It's Clueless, you stupid idiots.
Do you know how I got there?
No. I love hearing these train of thought things, though.
Okay. I was like, fucking Travis Scott raps about it in sicko mode. That's how I got there. I was like,
funny.
Stacy Dash, none of these got a clue. And I was like, Clueless. Motherfucker.
There you go. So this movie, I want to know what you think about these numbers. It's a 5.8 on IMDb.
Ooh.
And it's a 65 from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes and a 37 from the audience.
I could completely understand that.
Yeah, I get it.
I feel like that's a little bit high from the critics.
65?
I feel like
Yeah.
it might be one of those things where the critics are like, hey, like there is good stuff to
But
this.
like,
don't.
I feel like 5.8 seems a little low. For,
I agree.
Like, it should be in the sixes somewhere.
6.5.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't recommend this movie.
6.3.
I wouldn't recommend this movie.
Unless you knew, like, there's a niche type of person you'd probably recommend it to, but no one else. You'd be like, go watch that.
Yeah, I feel like it's just it's a better movie to just watch the death scenes.
Yeah.
And that one kitchen
Yo,
scene.
I like this the critics' consensus. It's like, because you know how they're
snarky.
yeah, they're so snarky. It just says, if you only watch one art world satire with horror overtones this year, or most other years, it should probably be Velvet Buzzsaw. How many art world satire with horror overtone movies are there to choose between?
I mean, the only one I can think of right now is fucking Nocturnal Animals, but
Yeah.
it's not. I guess there's horror overtones. Yeah,
Isn't it
It's
more of a
more-
thriller?
it's more thriller
Mhm.
than it is like straight up.
It's also
horror.
probably way better than this
But
movie.
it is horrifying. There's fucked up things.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say go check this one out. Unless maybe horror junkies, just to get their kicks
Mm-hmm.
would be into it. You had to slog through the first like 45 minutes though.
Oh, ladies out there, if you want to see Jake Gyllenhaal naked,
That's true.
I don't think there's any full frontal.
No, but he
there's definitely
sits
a lot
with a
of,
computer on his junk.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of. So
You
yeah,
see his boyfriend's butt.
Is there like a Mrs. Skin?
A what?
You know Mr. Skin, right? You know
No.
Mr. Skin. So they talked about it in like 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's like a website where you go and fucking like it's all the nude scenes from movies and shit.
Okay.
Right? Is there like a Mrs. Skin? For
So like
all the
nude
dudes?
scene, all the dude nude.
Or is Mr.
scenes?
Skin like just completely like we'll do women, we'll do guys, whatever.
I don't know.
By the way, Jake Gyllenhaal naked. If you ladies or men,
Yeah,
out
whoever.
there, whoever wants to see Jake Gyllenhaal naked.
Mm-hmm. He was like more ripped than he needed to be for this movie.
Sure.
He's in really good
I
shape.
feel like that's kind of nitpicking, but like
No, it's just kind of
but
weird.
it makes
like
sense that
like,
he would be in really good shape though.
It's to the point where I recognized it. You know what I mean?
Like he's like a fucking.
That's true. He's
LA
he's
an LA
yeah,
elitist.
He's very about his
Like-
his image and shit.
Yeah. So
That's
it
true.
makes sense that he would be.
That's true. Plus, he was probably like, I have to be in Spider-Man after this, so I'm in the process. Anyway, You got anything else to say about this movie?
About Velvet Buzzsaw.
There you go. You got
Velvet Buzzsaw.
Velvet Buzzsaw. I'm gonna take that as a no, and I'm gonna go ahead.
Mostly, I would say
Okay.
just I would say too much fat. You know, there's a lot of things that could have been trimmed off this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And weirdly, things that needed more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost like cut the shit you don't need and fix the stuff that you need. It's weird. Yeah. That's Velvet Buzzsaw. Meh. Yeah. We got a new poll up. Well, so next week we're gonna do Captain Marvel. Because that's two big releases this month, but that's the first one. Us comes out later in the month, so we'll probably do Us later. Maybe beginning of April we'll do Us, because the poll will be before that. Anyway.
Speaking of fucking utilizing genre.
Jordan Peele, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Peele, baby. Yo, you see Seth Rogen join Twilight Zone?
Why not?
Yeah, dude. Get everybody. Whoever you can get.
What is he's for as an actor?
I'm guessing he's going to be in an episode, is what I assume.
Well, I didn't know if he was like joining on production wise or something like that because
he's a prolific producer.
Yeah.
Like the amount of stuff that him and Evan
Goldberg. I think.
Goldberg.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was Goldberg or Goldstein.
Something Jewish.
I think it is Goldberg. But they're like prolific, the amount of work they do, the amount of like TV shows they produce.
Preacher probably being the biggest one.
Preacher, Future Man on Hulu. They have another one coming out, I think, but I can't remember the name. They do obviously all the movies they make. Yeah, they're
I should
always
finish reading Preacher.
You have it?
I have it on my phone. No, actually, it was legit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I watched the first. I watched the first few episodes through, of Preacher.
Their Kindle Unlimited shit.
Oh yeah. Tight. Toit. Yeah. So come back for Captain Marvel next week. We'll have the exclusive buzz right after the premiere, which is
Exclusive Buzzsaw.
Exclusive Buzzsaw.
I'm surprised you laughed at that.
And then later in the month we've got a poll up. We're gonna do a throwback poll this month because we weren't too hyped about the movie options.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to put Us on a poll and then potentially not see it or not do an episode on it.
Yeah, no, because we're absolutely going to do an episode.
We're definitely going to do
Us.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Expect that.
So we were like, yeah. Then it was like, do we do it between like Dumbo and Beach Bum? And that was, who cares? So we're going to do a throwback poll this month. We're going to do 2 Scorsese movies, both of which I have not seen and desperately want to see. You've probably seen them both.
Yes.
Both Robert De Niro movies with Scorsese from their primes, Raging Bull and Taxi Driver.
I really like this idea.
Yeah.
I really like this idea. Like mostly, I like the idea of opening up things so that like it's not always because there's going to be those down moments in the year when good movies aren't out.
It's what happens.
So, or movies that like that wouldn't make up a good poll.
Exactly.
At least. So yeah, I like the idea. Doing a Scorsese poll of opening up things to older. If you guys have ideas for polls as well, like
just episodes you want to see,
episodes, TV shows that you want us to review.
Do it we'll do it honest trailer style and put all the tweets up. Not really. Do this.
I don't know. Maybe in the future.
I mean, I don't know how to do it, but.
It would be me though. You wouldn't have to worry about it. Obviously, you wouldn't.
I'll curate the tweets.
You're gonna send me the screenshots. I appreciate that.
And count them. Be like,
curate.
I'm gonna be like, yo, we got like 6 people that said this movie.
You would be quite the curator.
Thank you.
Hey, bro.
I'll be
curated.
I just walk past your door. Hey, somebody said this. All right. All right. Find chrismichaelsdot.com. Check out his website. He's got scripts up there. Chris Michaelsdot on Instagram. Once every 3 months, he might post something. Find me, Davinwell25 on Twitter and Instagram. Find the show, The Chris and Kyle Show, on Facebook to find our poll. On Instagram, on YouTube, on all podcasting platforms. Like, rate, share, review, all the fun stuff. Always helps out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we're going to be going through like over the next couple weeks, probably going through like reassessing the visual component of our podcast. So all of you YouTube listeners, I want to do something where like we have cameras on both me and Kyle. That's going to be happening over the next couple weeks. And once that happens, we're going to be bringing on more guests and stuff like that. I want to have that visual component like completely reassessed before we go into that. But that's to be expected over the next couple weeks or so. Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Boom. Look forward to looking at our faces closer. Ugh,
Yeah.
Weird.
Uh-huh.
So that... oh, yeah, and the show's Twitter is tcaks pod. Poll is also on there. There's already one vote. I posted it like 10 minutes ago. There's already a vote. So, killing the game. Yeah, come back next week for Captain Marvel. And obviously, Monday for our regular scheduled programming. We out.
We out. Stay weird.